Hey guys, Jake Blow here, the Habitat Pro. Today I'm going to show you a herbicide concoction that can save your brassica food plot after it's already germinated. If this or any other video on the channel is of any help to you, we really appreciate you hitting that like, hitting that subscribe, hit the notification bell down there. All right, without further ado, let's get to it. I have here on this tank the concoction I use for brassica food plots that are already up, in which I need to kill weeds and grasses. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you out into my food plots today. I have had Roundup Ready sugar beets going out there that I missed a section when I was spraying. I'm a victim of not having a GPS in the four-wheeler, I guess. So I definitely missed. I'm gonna show you a spot out there that you might find in your brassica food plots. What I also have out there I have a brassica blend, Sweet Feast from Northwoods Whitetails, that has already been out there for about a week. It's gotten 3 rains on it, and that is doing very well. So I'll show you that section, and then I'm gonna spray it with the concoction that I described here, and then we're gonna see how that does over the next few days here. Now, before we talk chemicals, what I wanna make sure we talk about is PPE. Always, always, always protect yourself from chemicals, guys. I'm not going to start a big war here about does Roundup cause cancer, does it not? I don't care. You know that no chemical on you or in you is better than some chemical on you or in you. Hopefully you can all agree on that. So, being that we don't want chemical on us if we can at all prevent it, what I highly suggest, at minimum, rubber boots. Don't use the same ones you're hunting in. Long pants. Oftentimes long sleeves if I know I'm doing a situation where I might have a swirling wind or something like that and a little nugget of a food plot. I'll use long sleeves. Today I won't, just because I know the wind and I'm using a hand applicator. And then this is big here, guys. Gotta have these gloves when you're mixing stuff. Don't go without them, because you know as well as I do, if it's on your hands, if later on it's gonna get in your body when you're out doing food plot stuff. You got to wear your PPE, guys. Take care of your body. We have no idea what any of this stuff does long term, whether anybody says so or not. So just go by the mantra, no chemical is probably better than some chemical. Protect yourself from exposure. All right, so here we are, sugar beets, corn. Obviously, corn being a grass, you cannot spray this with clethodim. That's how they kill volunteer corn and soybeans. So what we want to do here is just hit the grass in the sugar beet area. There are a few baby thistles coming here, but for the most part, this is foxtail and crabgrass. So I'm just gonna wipe this out, and then we got a spot up over the hill that I missed as well. You know what, let's give this a little bit of a control. There's corn. I don't know if it'll work or not because it is pretty tall, but we're gonna try it. So if we're right here, the tall corn behind me that I did not spray and the sugar beets should be alive and happy. All right, you can see my rows of sugar beets here. These are about 6 weeks old. I'll have another video out on when to do sugar beets, when to do brassicas, because this is a combination plot, but I do not plant them at the same time simply because sugar beets are so slow. If you're buying a food plot mix with sugar beets in with the brassicas, you're getting ripped off. They just don't, these are 6-week-old plants. Big old ragweed right here, we'll see. Okay, so this brings up another point. Weed identification is huge Because if you can go look at a weed and go, hey, I got a bunch of this, what chemical can I use? I want to save this crop. That's what farmers do all the time. And then I had ragweed, I got pigweed that's almost going to seed. I should really pull it, but we'll see what this chemical will do. I also have some, what else was out there? Mare's tail. So I'll just take the camera through and we'll show you some of that in addition to the foxtail. And then you can see how well the sugar beets are doing, as well as the seedling brassicas that I did a week ago today, and we've gotten 3 rains since then. All right, there's my tank down there. Let's do a little bitty weed ID here, just so you guys know what I'm talking about, the importance of being able to identify some of this stuff. So there's my foxtails. You can see that is one that invades a lot of switchgrass plots, a lot of summer tillage. That'll invade. Pigweed, that's a really common one. Up to 1 million seeds per plant there or more. Okay, there's another pigweed right there. I got another one going to seed over there. That's a lamb's quarter. I'll show you one of those up close. Those are pretty common as well. Here's another pigweed just about to flower. That is a ragweed, common ragweed, not the giant stuff. There's our lamb's quarter right there. You see that? So that's lamb's quarter. There's even a thistle under there. We'll see if I get that thistle. I do not want him to go to flower. And then there's our seedling brassicas. See that little fella? There's that little fella there. That little fella. See, so I can't come up here and just wipe it out. Even though these are Roundup Ready sugar beets, I can't just come up here and annihilate this stuff, because then I'd be up here trying to plant something. So I decided to do the clethodim stinger mix. Now, the order in which I add things to the spray tank is from left to right up on top of the Genesis 3 there. So you can see the first thing that goes in is L27. That's a water conditioner and a non-ionic surfactant. Highly recommend that. That's an $80 2.5 gallon jug, and it's used at a rate of 32 ounces per 100 gallons. It's a very small price to pay, especially for use with Roundup before adding glyphosate to the spray tank. Make sure you add that in. The next thing I add in is Stinger. That's the blue tint here you see. That's at a 1/4 ounce per gallon. Clethodim goes next. It's about 1 ounce per gallon or so. And then MSO goes in roughly the same rate. You can go a little higher with the MSO, but since I already have L27 in there, I've got that activity going, that spreader effect on the leaves of the weeds. Hey guys, we're back here 10 days later. It is now July 31st. We applied on July 21st. So you can see here, this is that landmark corn plant right here. All gone, dead, down to the root. Just a dead stalk here is all we have. Got a real good kill. We're gonna go up top and look at that patch as well. All right, so we're trying to recreate this view for you. You can see the dead band here, the dying band of vegetation behind me. But this, we're going to take a walk through as well, because we're going to see here that the stinger definitely left some of the broadleaves alone, and the clethodim hasn't acted as fast up here for whatever reason, soil activity, maybe sun difference, who knows what. So we'll take a walk through this right now to take a look, and then stick with us till the end for some final thoughts. All right, so this activity right here of the herbicide is showing you some of the limitations of this mix. Now, obviously it's worked great to have Roundup Ready beets in here, but if you till, you are stirring up the seed bed, and you're gonna get a lot of foxtail, a lot of crabgrass, the warm weather stuff, and you'll probably even stir up some old pigweed seed, even if you have Roundup Ready in there before. And you see right here, the pigweed, that's red root pigweed, that's pretty much invincible to stinger apparently. So we can see that. And this foxtail isn't dying as well as the stuff down below did. So I'm not sure why on that. That one's showing some pretty good activity. The ragweed is another one that's also showing that it's not dying all the way. So it may be something where I didn't have the rate needed. What'll happen there is the top stuff will burn off, and then that may come back actually from the base. But you can definitely see we're gonna need to pull these pigweed. So if you've got pigweed in your brassica plot, looks like stinger is not gonna touch it. You're gonna have to pull it, mow it, do something different. Hopefully that's not the deal. So highly encourage you to do no-till methods with brassicas. The seeds are so tiny. That's what all of this germination is. You see here, this is all Sweet Feast coming in our Roundup Ready sugar beets. that are roughly 6 weeks ahead of this planting, and they're doing great. Now, one final benefit to this herbicide concoction is that it is safe on most tree species. What that means is I can manage the grass and weeds around the root system where the root system is expanding out from the canopy of the tree. And that's really important, especially in our evergreen shelter belts, in our evergreen thermal cover plantings, where nobody's really made a money, so we're not spading in, you know, $900 trees all over the property. So when we buy those baby trees less than 5 years old, the data shows that you can increase the growth rate up to 75% just by decreasing grass and weed competition away from the stem out to 24 inches. So for instance, on a 1-year-old tree, I might have a 6-inch radius circle around it. And then as that tree gets to 3 years old, the ones that they're the only ones that I plant now are 3-year-old trees minimum in a #1 pot with dirt on the roots. I don't even waste time or money on the other stuff because they just die. So that's an 8-inch pot. I typically give that another 8 inches all the way around. And then as that tree gets bigger, I can expand out to that 2-foot circle. Once it gets past that 5-year zone, now I can let that tree go. So great for brassica food plots, great for tree plantings. To a certain extent, you do have to check the stinger label to see if your tree species that you want to apply around are on that label as a tolerant species. But for the most part, fantastic concoction here to manage grass and broadleaf weeds around trees and in brassica food plots. So, like I said before, guys, if this was any help to you at all, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. We've got new videos going up all the time, all year long. This is Jake Bull, the Habitat Pro. We are in northern Minnesota. Get out and enjoy creation, guys. God bless.